Whoa!
Ooh, hey everybody,
Well,
welcome back to another edition of the Gamma Ray Podcast. Hanging out with Justin. I'm Tim.
how's it going, everybody?
All right, guys. Yeah, so this week we're getting into some more of the out there theories, man. We're talking about kind of like we did with our Mandela effect, like the mind bending aspects of our
Yeah, the stuff that
reality and our
makes you think a
existence.
little bit more.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
man. So we're gonna dive feet deep into the simulation theory. Is that a saying? Feet deep? Did I just make that up? That's trademarked
Yeah, I
now.
think it's
Can't use that.
waist. Like, I don't know.
Balls
Might be
deep. I don't
yeah, balls deep, waist deep,
know. You're right.
jumping into the deep end.
We're taint deep into the simulation theory.
There you go.
Right. So this is pretty awesome though. You know what I mean? Because it's like the more that I look into it, the more I'm like, I don't even exist. And it makes me feel just a little bit better to know that I
Yeah,
probably don't exist in real life.
it's just like I better fucked up, but
And if it
I'm
is
just a
like,
bunch of ones and zeros, man. What's the difference?
yeah, but then like if there's like an alien playing me, I feel bad for that guy because he's real shitty at video games, dude. Like he's terrible.
Dude,
He's
what was that?
I'm in the guy just jumping up in the corner because he doesn't know how to turn around.
You
You
just
know?
like glitching into the
It's
wall.
just like with the gun.
Dude, what was
Like
that
that.
Rick and Morty simulation? Was it Mort
Yeah, something like that.
something?
Yeah.
Where he plays the carpet seller and whatnot.
I hope that's not how they get their enjoyment because it's really shitty. But like, so the hypothesis, because it's just a theory, right? Clearly, this is not proven by any means, but it presents us with the possibility that our existence, our being on Earth, and having consciousness and all of that is just a simulation of reality. It's not real. You know what I mean? Like it's just not really taking place in real time anymore. And that's pretty fucking insane to even think about.
Yeah, I was like, you went through all this and it doesn't truly matter even in the slightest.
You know how much that pisses me off? Like, I mean, are you kidding me, man?
The
To work
dude,
all these shitty jobs for all these years for nothing, for
been
nothing.
going. I've been going to school for 2 years.
Yeah, to,
For,
to feed
for
some
absolute.
fucking data into some like alien computer system. Like that's bullshit, man. You know, what I mean, I'm just gonna get defragged. That'll be the end of
Yeah, back man, I don't really like this character. But still,
it.
I'm gonna delete him and start a new one. Yeah.
Right. I mean, so essentially the idea is that like we're like a computer generated realm. You know what I mean? And but the simulation that we're living in now has convinced almost everybody on Earth that it's quote unquote real. You know what I mean? Like this is physical, we're physical beings on a physical place, floating in a physical universe. You know what I mean? But that might not be true.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a corny way of doing it, but like kind of think of the Matrix, like the first one.
I think anytime you talk about anything like this, the Matrix gets involved.
Yeah. But it has a like at least that movie though, it has concepts of what we just said.
Right.
Everyone is convinced they're in the real world while they're not.
Right.
Take away the one and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, like that's what a lot of those like I stumbled across the secret documentary like a month ago. I was like, all right, Oprah. You know what I mean? I'll bite. You know what I mean? Let's see what you got. You know what I mean? And that's
Wait,
kind of
you're
what
not
it
talking
is.
about the one that's like, oh, you were in a bad spot. It's because you didn't believe and think positive enough thoughts.
Yes, it's exactly
Okay.
what it's about. But if it actually kind of plays into like, because I already knew about simulation theory prior to watching it. You know what I mean? It's like when you listen to them talk, it's the law of attraction essentially. Like if you think
Yeah.
positive, like literally your brain does change frequency levels. You know what I mean? Like your brain is a receptor and other people's brains are receptors, so they actually do technically kind of pick up on that. You know what I mean? Like your hair even is like an antenna. You know what I mean, for picking up that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So bald people, that's why they're assholes all the time. They can't pick it up. You know what I mean? But folks like me and you got beautiful heads of hair. We can pick it up all the time, baby. Yeah, we're feeling everything. We're vibing. But like essentially, like if you think a different way, that reality bends essentially to your will at that point. Like you can manifest things to happen in real life, which if that's true, then it kind of leads into that, yeah, we are living in a simulation. That just because we can change the code. essentially, with positive thinking. God damn it. Yeah. Maybe that's why everything sucks. Because I assume everything sucks. Maybe that's why. Maybe I didn't watch it
Start
hard enough.
meditate. You ain't been meditating hard enough, man. Is
No,
what it is.
I haven't been vibing real hard with crystals lately either. So
Yeah.
that could be a
So
big part of it.
your crystal frequencies are all out of whack. You
Well,
need to go get your chakra realigned.
ever since I watched that movie The Gate with Steven Dorff as a kid, and all the like they found like all those crystal rocks, and then like the little demons come out of it, I've been afraid of crystals. It's an irrational fear, but it's there.
But
It
it's
lives
there nonetheless.
It's there. That's why I don't trust crystals or anybody that has crystals. Because if you remember in the movie, they all like melted into one giant creature. So maybe that's what they are. They just melded into that person. He's trying to sell you fucking crystals and chakras and shit. I don't trust it. They're little demons. So, like, anyways,
dude, no, you need to go get your chakra realigned. They have like chakra massages where they hover over your body.
oh boy, wait till they get to my root chakra. Man, are they gonna be in for
They're
a
gonna have a
surprise.
hell of a time working that out.
That's one wild ride, baby. Yeah. But I mean, essentially, like the concept of it is imperceivable to us. You know what I mean? Like you can think it and you can philosophize on it, you know what I mean? But you can't really like concretely say that's what's happening. But there's substantial proof going in that direction, you know, and it's becoming pretty popular nowadays. You know, the idea of that's happening. And like the theory doesn't just include us as individuals or the animals, you know what I mean, or the fucking insects in the ground or the birds in the sky and all that kind of stuff. But in fact, like the earth that we live on is part of it, you know what I mean? And that the universe we live in too, like the whole thing,
Yeah.
the whole entire thing, you know what I mean, is just not real. I mean, is it real because we can feel it and think it and act and do stuff that it seems like free will? I mean, so is that at that point real? Then you get into like more of a philosophical argument at that point, you know?
Yeah, that's that whole like I think therefore I am kind of
Mhm.
way of
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the
Yeah.
way I see it, dude, is like, yeah, if we are in a simulation, this little microphone here,
Right.
yeah, like it looks real,
Right.
but then again, who's to say that this is actually what a microphone's supposed to look like, or
Yeah.
it looks like that? I mean,
Right.
in terms of like definition,
Right.
like who's to say that our 4K, like go back to like PS1 graphics, right? Like a character in a PlayStation game.
Yeah.
If they saw the generated tree, they would think it was real because they don't
It's
know
like Free Guy.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
wouldn't know that a tree doesn't look like that or it's that. Yeah, it's hard to explain in a way.
Well, I mean, I think like I mean, I hate to do it, but like a little bit back to the Matrix, you know what I mean? Where that one kid, Mouse, you know what I mean, was talking to him. He's like, how do the machines know what steak tasted like?
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh yeah.
maybe what we think steak tastes like chicken or tastes like pork.
Yeah.
How do they know? You know what I mean? It's shit like that. Like, how do we know? I don't know. Maybe a cow doesn't taste like that at all.
Yeah.
I hope it does.
Well, that's kind of where I was trying to hit on. Was that you wouldn't, if you were a simulation, you would think whatever else was in the simulation was 100% real. This is how it happens. This is what it looks like, how it tastes, how it smells.
Right.
And that could be completely wrong.
Yeah. It's really just your mind turning it into things like it is the only way you can like explain like the taste in things. Like some people like Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Are you kidding me? It's fucking awful. You know, some people love them. How is that possible? They were perceiving the taste differently. You know what I mean?
But it's like, dude, I don't like pasta at all. I don't understand how other people do. I really don't.
I'm glitching. That's fucking my code up, man.
Yeah, I absolutely hate it. But I know you guys do. You love it.
I do.
My wife loves it. I can't.
I don't like steak, but there you go.
Yeah, see,
But
Zach Dobson, I love it.
pasta doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah. Well, fuck you. I don't know what else to say because that's ridiculous. But like, there are like the beginnings of all these theories that are coming out that have like really started to gain momentum. You know what I mean? Like, especially in mainstream science. Now we're like real dudes, real science circles are believing that this is
are taking this seriously.
More, they think it's more likely than not likely.
Yeah, dude, that's the weirdest part about it is that it's like the smartest of us are actually considering it as a real possibility.
Yeah, it's not like Mandela effect
laughing it
stuff
off.
or ghosts or aliens. You know what I mean? They're like, no, this is probably happening.
This has the same makings as like Bigfoot's real.
Yeah, he is.
But,
in my heart.
Yeah. But like that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
You know, like just those weird out there stories or theories or whatever.
Right.
These guys are like, no. This one makes at least a certain amount of sense to us.
Right. Like, I mean, there's some facts to back it up. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, that there was like an algorithm that was created in some experiment, right? That, and it essentially, like, his job was to calculate the odds of us being physical beings or we can, CGI, essentially. And it came back that the odds is significantly greater. Like, not just like it wasn't like by a sliver, it was like a landslide.
Yeah, it wasn't like 49% to 51%.
No, it was like, it was way worse than that. That we do live in a simulator reality, and that the odds are that we don't are pretty low, which is mind blowing.
I was reading when we were looking into this, I was reading it up, and they were like, the odds of that we're even the first generation simulation are almost zero.
Yeah.
I think it was Elon Musk or Neil deGrasse Tyson. One of those two, I think, were saying it. There was like, there's a good chance that we're like 10,000 versions away from the original creator.
Right.
Because it would be, they created the simulation.
Right.
The simulation eventually got to the point where it could create a simulation, and then boom, 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 all the way down the line.
Yeah. I mean, it's like what just happened this past weekend. It's like, you know what? Let's fuck with the time a little bit. Let's take an hour away. Let's see what they do. Fuck them all up for like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? It's like, it's stupid rules.
For like the next month, dude, you're gonna be going, man, it's really only 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I'm still not used to it. You know, like I'm still hurting.
I know the clock says 6, but it's really
I slept terrible because I knew that I was gonna lose an hour. I was on my mind the whole time. I'm like,
my wife woke me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I fell asleep. I'm like,
well, it was really 6.
Even then, I was
So think of it that way. It was really 6.
It's still 6 o'clock.
Yeah, think of it that way. It's not so bad on a Sunday, dude.
I went back to sleep. Fuck that.
No, I'd have choke slammed her immediately.
What? She woke me up because I was slumped over my damn chair in the living room.
Oh yeah, researching. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Providing content to the show.
Yeah.
See, that's why I'm not married. I would have put her in a sharpshooter. Like, the fuck you doing? Wake me up at 6 a.m. Clearly, I'm comfortable.
Like I would
all night.
Yeah, I've been here for hours, dude.
You don't look comfortable. I was, hence me being asleep. I've never fell asleep uncomfortable.
Not once.
I've never done that ever. Fucking jerk. But like I said, like, simulation theory has begun to gain a significant amount of momentum, right? And a lot of it has to do with like what we're working on now, like Facebook with Meta, their Meta stuff, you know what I mean? And like Oculus, which is Facebook still, so Meta, you know what I mean? But the, like, in virtual reality itself is like advancing very quickly.
Dude, give it I don't know, maybe another 20, 30 years.
You won't be able to tell 50. The difference.
Dude, it'll be like Ready Player One.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to tell the difference between reality and the game.
No.
It's gonna trick your senses into believing that it's real. You know, but like, not only that though, because like we can also like map the human mind in incredible detail. You know, so like we know what the brain is doing. Like, we don't know where a lot of it comes from, like consciousness, for instance. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what part of the brain does that. You know what I mean? So like, that's the a great mystery. You know what I mean? Like, what is consciousness? Like, what are we? You know what I mean? What is I?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what does that
Well, I
even
mean,
really mean?
like even right now, dude, they got computers. I think they call them quantum computers
Yeah.
that are they're wired and designed a way to mimic the human brain in terms
Right.
of like the billions of neurons and connections.
Right.
Like that's how those computers are.
Right. Right.
You know,
Exactly. And I
so
mean,
it's not too far away, man.
right. I mean, the main idea of the whole thing is that we're in essence no more than coding.
Yeah,
Think of the Matrix. You're just the lines of code going through. You know what I mean? And that's what you are. And that's fucking bonkers, man. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
then it comes into question like the idea of fate. You know what I mean? Are you really making choices? Does it just seem
Or
like you
did,
are?
or if we are in a simulation,
Or are you just following a script?
is it yeah? Your ultimate fate has already been programmed
Right.
for a certain day, certain time, and then it doesn't matter what you do between birth and death, you'll end up in that spot at that time.
Right. Like what if you're like trying to like you get like hooked on drugs or alcohol, and that's what you're supposed to do. Like it's in your coding, and then when you fight it, it's like fighting the code, which makes it
That's
extraordinarily
like
difficult.
withdrawal.
Yeah, like that's what the like with that's like it makes it that's why it's so hard to do. You know what I mean? Because you're like rewriting the code essentially, and then the
Yeah, the
program's
computer.
fighting back.
Yeah, the program's
No,
not
no, no, no.
really happen.
This is in your like your prime directive.
You were supposed to be an addict.
Right. Like that's what's
Yeah,
supposed to happen here. You know, and then it has to like rewrite the whole fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense to me,
yeah.
you know?
But, I mean, even that would explain why, like, a lot of people use religion to get off, that. But then
Right.
they go from like I'm drunk all the time or high all the time to being like hyper focused on religion
Yeah.
because they if you're going off of that, they rewrote their own code
Right.
to have like essentially, or the program let you believe you broke it,
Right.
and all it did was reprogram you to be addicted to whatever religion or whatever.
But do you see what they're
You were-
saying?
yeah,
Like it's almost impossible to even conceive of the idea.
yeah.
You
It's
know what I mean?
it's
It's like to fathom it is or to like really wrap your mind around it and to like understand like, oh, this is what's happening. Like you're not really making decisions. Or maybe you are. And the code is just free floating. You know what I mean? But you don't know. You don't know what if that's
no,
what's happening or not. You know what I mean? Like if it feels like choice, but is it the illusion of choice? You know,
yeah. I
like
mean that's been a question for a long time, even outside
well, I
of
mean, imagine it this way. Like I can see a programmer doing something like that, like giving like, okay, like we're gonna give these guys the idea that they're the ones making the decisions. Because if they don't and they know that it's all pre-written, like we won't get any feedback. Like you know what I mean? Like we won't
you
see
won't get any
anything.
real data,
Right. Like it'll just be like, well, that's what we wrote them to do. You know what I mean? So it's like
which
make
wouldn't
them
really be like AI.
like
It would just
spontaneous.
be it would just be a video game character.
Right. Like because imagine
You
if
just
you're
be an
like if you're
NPC
trying to figure it out.
supposed to walk around the city
Right.
and you have these lines to say.
Right.
You wouldn't, no one's looking at them when
Well, the thing that like blows my mind too is like if imagine like if that's what's happening, like and if it's like we're in some computer system, like what if we're like still trying to figure out consciousness and this is how we're doing it? Like run infinite amounts of simulations. Maybe we can figure it out. You know
yeah,
what I
like
mean?
what yeah, exactly. I get
What defines sentience? You know, like that's a fucking hard question, dude. That's a really hard question, you know?
yeah, because like the best we got right now is that you are your collection of memories.
Right. But even those are unreliable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
that's like essentially
extremely
who you
unreliable.
are is your memories.
I mean,
And your
like
memories like change the way you think, your experiences.
well, think about that. Like the episode we just did a couple what 2 episodes ago, the Mandela effect. Like that could just very well be lapses in your memory being accurate. It
Yeah.
couldn't be nothing. It could be nothing. It absolutely could be nothing and nothing like that actually is happening.
Yeah.
You know what I
I mean,
mean?
I've
It's
had
just
plenty of times
faulty
where I thought about
memory.
something and somebody was like, that's not how that went at all.
Right. Because you don't your mind's not really built the past. It's
No,
built for right now.
it's not very good at.
I mean, you're meant to learn from it, sure, and like not make the same mistakes because
You're
that's
meant to,
evolution
yeah,
and
it's
that's the way
meant
the
to
brain works. Like
change
learning,
your decision making.
right? But again, are we making any decisions at all? You know,
Yeah.
but like it's like again, like we're essentially code for or digital beings, if you like. That is the living in the simulated reality of either our future descendants, our future humans, or even extraterrestrials.
Which would be
I'd
our
rather do
future
this.
descendants.
I'd rather have that
Eh,
one.
I would rather think of us like the extraterrestrial version.
Right.
Because like put it this way, maybe they thought they found what was left of humanity.
Right.
Big war,
Yeah.
or no humanity left, but they found the bones and they found
Right.
pictures.
Bones.
And they programmed us
Right.
to look like
They pick up the what the fuck is this
humans of
thing?
old, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they kind of see what would happen.
Right. That's possible. But like that makes me sad because then aliens aren't real because they're the living thing and we're not even real anyways.
I
So
mean,
like,
in that
you know what I
situation, we're
mean?
essentially the children of aliens. So we're aliens, this big
Okay.
old circle that wraps around.
Okay, fine, but still, it breaks my heart. You know what I mean? Because it's like if we're not real, then if aliens are coming to Earth, they're not fucking real. They're just simulations too.
Yeah.
That's a fucking bummer, man.
Yeah, because then like the simulation could be like, oh, the
You
ones
can
who
simulate
created
that
it.
in The Sims.
Yeah.
There's an option to like have an alien invasion in
Well,
The
dude,
Sims.
I mean, you even have like, what's that one called? Like cityscapes or something,
Uh-huh.
where you could just program a fucking meteor. You just blow up an entire city.
Yeah.
Or send a giant monster, like metal monster down.
Yeah, you could do that in The Sims too. Like tornadoes and like
Yeah.
the most horrible like natural disasters. Like what if some people are real? You're not thinking about them. So we're like a simulation creating a simulation that believes that they're real. Maybe.
Dude, it's just hard to like I kind of get it, but at the same time not, you know what I mean?
It's complete nonsense that could be real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's what it is.
I get what they're going at.
Like
But
your
at the
IQ
same time,
level
like the
has to
idea is
be
preposterously high.
your IQ level to like fully grasp it and to be able to explain it eloquently has to be very fucking large. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it takes geniuses to like really like wrap their minds around this and to like make like logical sense, not emotional ones like you and I are probably making. You know what I mean? Like logical, like no, that makes sense.
Yeah, like there's no way
That's exactly how we would
I
think
can't
a
I
computer
can't
would
go
do it.
against it because our computer simulations are saying it's right. The math comes out to be right.
Right.
To say it isn't at this point would just
I
be
mean, that's the
me.
crazy thing. Like we're living in a simulation, so we created a computer to figure out if we're in a simulation.
Yeah. Dude,
So even the compuder itself is simulated. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's like, what the hell, man?
But dude, like, because
It's like paradoxes like all over the place.
dude, that's the worst, man.
I'm blowing my own mind.
Yeah.
You know? I'm blowing my own.
That's one of those like time traveler kind of things where it's like you had to go to the past so that you could start something,
Yeah.
so that the future you could know you had to go back to the past. It's this big
Right.
old,
Yeah, it's a loop that doesn't actually
Yeah.
have any logical sense to it.
it's like since like the actual advancement of modern computer generated virtual reality,
Sure.
having the possibility to, excuse me, the possibility that we are living embodiments of a generated existence in the
Right.
minds and words of many highly intelligent people
They'd have to be.
is not like we just said.
Right.
They're saying it's not only likely but very possible
Yeah.
that this is how it's actually going down. And these are, they're not like the fucking
They're the best of the best.
crazy looking ones. These are
Yeah.
the people who are out there like solving the real world problems.
Right. Best of the best.
Yeah. Like for example, excuse me, Elon Musk is a huge believer in simulation theory.
Well, I read one thing that he said, and I'm probably misquoting that he said that like the odds are like 1 billion to 1 against that we're not living in a
Yeah.
simulation. Like And that's
Yeah, because that's what I saw that same thing. I think that's who said when I said like the odds that we're even the first generation simulation are low.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like billions to one that we're physical beings.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. How
Yeah.
like, dude, it's ridiculous how high
That's astronomical, dude. Like you're more likely to like be a simulation than you know what I mean, than you are to get
Yeah.
like bit by a shark in a lightning storm. You know what I mean? Like while winning the lottery, like simultaneously. You know what I mean? Like the odds are better that you're a
You're
simulation than
fake.
all of those things happening. You know?
Yeah, it's also believed that if humans ever accomplish the task of creating excuse me, simulated conscious beings, oh, sorry, I'm sick. That will also be the point where like simulated that we're also simulated beings in somebody else's computer.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, like an early like dude, this actually goes back like the actual thought process
Yeah.
of that we're not real.
Yeah. I
Or
feel like
this
you're about
reality isn't
to.
real.
I feel like you're about to tell me something that's ancient.
It is actually.
Great.
It's
Great.
actually an early version of this theory was brought to us in the form of philosophical argument by one Rene Descartes.
Fantastic. Good for him.
Oh,
That old bitch. Good for him.
in which one of his quotes when he was talking about this was that
Right.
it is possible that I am. Is it possible that I am
Right.
dreaming right now and that all my perceptions are false?
Yes.
So it's not
Answer
simulation
yes.
theory in the way that we've been talking about it,
Right.
but it's still a theory that I'm not real. Like,
Right.
so we've been thinking about this for a long time.
Yeah. Faulty perception.
Exactly. Like, and later, a version was presented by a man named Hans Moravec. And and again, he even put it out that is comparatively easy to make a computer exhibit adult level performance on intelligence tests, or playing checkers even.
Yeah. Well, they got that one that plays chess and all that, and that
Yeah,
game Go. That's supposed to be like the hardest game in the world. It's called Go
never heard of it actually.
because you're stupid.
Apparently,
As an
but
intelligent person, I've heard of it.
yeah.
I've never
Well, that's
played
what
it.
he's saying is that it's hard to get. It's easy to make you think computers have this high intelligence,
Right.
but it is actually difficult or even impossible to give them the skills of a 1-year-old when it comes to perception and mobility.
So that sounds like he's arguing against it.
No,
You know what I mean? That
what he's saying that it's easy to make you like
make
to
us.
program intelligence.
Oh, I got you.
It's damn near impossible for perception of reality and that kind of stuff with them.
Okay.
But he was adding on to Renee's
Oh, okay.
theory.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
This
Then
is
it's
just
like it's
like
easy
one
to like
actual.
say that somebody like you can program it to think that it's smart.
Yeah, it's kind of
Essentially,
like
you're giving it the idea that it is intelligent.
but
It's really not.
you're not. But it doesn't have the ability to perceive the reality around it like we do.
Right.
It's weird. It's like one. I pulled that quote
Right.
from one of his papers he put out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what he was saying was like it would take enormous amounts of computational power to get a computer to perceive reality.
Okay, that makes more
But
sense.
it takes less computational power in programming intelligence.
Okay.
So he's like, you need a massively powerful computer.
Right.
Like you can't do this on your home computer. You need a just over the top, like 1,000 generations ahead kind of supercomputer.
Right.
Be able to simulate a real life person.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we're not there yet.
No, nowhere close.
Okay.
But then there was another guy, dude. This is another philosopher by the name of Nick Bostrom. He expanded on this theory by examining the possibility that we are simulated. So he's kind of the one who started this whole "we are simulations."
Okay. So he's just like thinking about it.
Yeah,
I love philosophy. That's the best job in the world, philosopher.
Yeah, you just think about shit.
Like, nice. Yeah, what do you do for a living?
He's kind of the one who brought it into like the forefront.
I got you.
He's not the one who created the theory because obviously it's been going on for a long time.
Right.
He kind of brought it out.
Okay. All right.
And if you could believe it, like I just been saying, man,
Yeah.
this goes back a long time. It actually started in 17th century with the aforementioned Rene Descartes.
Right, like we just said, it's super fucking old.
Yeah, we've been having thinkers for hundreds of years now.
I just want some updated belief systems. You
don't get them. All right,
well, it's not in the programming, so.
Well, no, like no. Descartes imagined that he was under the influence of an evil demon, not an even demon.
Right. Right. The demon's name is Steven.
Yeah. Evil demon.
It has even demon Steven. Yeah.
He's fair but evil.
Right. He's balanced at least.
Yeah. And this immensely powerful entity had like quote employed all his energies in order to deceive me.
Okay.
And by using all these powers to trick Descartes, he was completely inside the illusion of the outside world and thus reality.
Right. I remember reading that. Like I mean, essentially it's the same idea, just put in 1600, 17th century terms.
Pretty much.
For comprehension.
You can trade out demon for programmer if you want. It makes the same amount of sense, honestly.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Like it's pretty ahead of its time. You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's pretty ahead of
it. Especially back then, dude. You talk about like essentially going against what the church is teaching.
Like Christian doctrine. Yeah, especially.
Because
that was a dangerous time to be doing that too. You know?
Oh yeah, dude. Like by saying that, you're pretty much saying all of reality, which also means our version of God, what the church is saying, are just figments of your imagination.
Right.
The church does not look kindly upon such things. So
yeah, I mean, I get it though. It's wacky, man. It is, because like it's like it actually reminds me of like Men in Black, right? Because I'm not well versed in enough things to not mention blockbuster movies as references. And like where I mean, find all my philosophical belief systems.
But like, it's the easiest way to
it really is
portray what you're trying to say.
There's like that part in Men in Black, right, where he's explaining to Will Smith on the bench because he's like, "Is it worth it?" You know what I mean? That kind of stuff where he disappears. He's like, humans they don't want an idea, nor do they, you know what I mean? Like they don't care. Like, they think people think they have a good beat on things, is what he said. You know what I mean? Where like this is kind of what that is. It's like we feel like we got a good grip
on what reality
and how to succeed in it and how to change your destiny and shit like that, but you really don't. You know what I mean? Like you really don't know,
because I mean, if this is all true, it means that if you're rich, you're most likely programmed to be rich, or the simulation was programmed to allow you to be rich,
right?
Or the program.
Some of these guys maybe found the way to hack the system.
That too.
They're essentially hacking it. Like, and I do think that the belief that you're doing it, like you believe that your thoughts are changing the reality around you. It's based in science. I mean, they can pretty much do it on command. Say like, no, look, like this, like your thoughts are affecting this object. They can measure it. You know what I mean? Like they did it with one guy who he directed like all the like early like fucking Jim Carrey movies like Liar Liar and all that. He did a documentary. It's actually really good. I can't remember his name, but he did one where like he got all fucked up and he had all this other shit. It was like that like concussion syndrome, but like never went away. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So like he went on like this, this self-discovery thing, but they hooked his head up to like these like fucking diodes or whatever and like put it into like pudding or like yogurt. It was yogurt. And like when he would think like positive thoughts, like internally, like the pH balance and like the electro level of the fucking yogurt would change to like a really high. It would like pin in one direction, like the positive energy one. Yeah. And then when he thought of something really shitty, like it literally would like drop to the other side and like change the pH balance low. So like literally his brain waves were affecting
the yogurt
in real life. You know what I mean? Like that's just an example. He's like, so like it is probably happening. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
crazy to think that that's something that could actually.
Well, they had another cool example in there too, where like they put like a plant in like a corner of a room, and it had like a lamp that was like would like randomly point in different directions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like after like enough time, they figured out like they saw like a pattern where like the light was like hitting the plant more frequently than any other corner. Like it doesn't matter like what corner they put it in. Like after time, like it was literally like hitting the plant because the plant was like, give me light, give me light, give me light, give me light. You know what I mean? Essentially, like it was like frequencing out, like, hey, I need this. And it was like the system that was running was like
Oh,
reacting to it.
like the random number
Generator kind of thing
generator.
that spiked on 9/11 and any kind there's
Yeah,
like a
like
yeah, that's for real,
we're
man.
like, what was it? It was something like people could affect that thing. If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Well, essentially, like they
I
had
can't
like
remember exactly how it went, but
well, it's like this. So like on any given day, like the random number generator will put out essentially the same amount of ones and zeros. Granted, it's random, but it'll be pretty close. You know what I mean? Like every time. But when like there's like a major event happens that affects the world on a whole, like 9/11, it like spiked like crazy to like the zeros or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it went like way high. And then like the days after it started kind of leveling itself back out again. And then like a tsunami happened and went whoop, like right back up again. It was like when major events happened, there was major changes in how the number generator was reacting. You know what I mean? So it was
yeah,
like absolutely like enough people were putting out like a really like oh shit vibe
yeah,
that it literally affected the machines around it. Like that's pretty insane that it can do
yeah.
that.
Man, getting back to what Descartes was in his thought experiment, right?
Right.
Like after this revelation he had with the demon trying to deceive me and that kind of thing,
Right.
he stated, "I shall think that the sky, the air, earth, colors, shapes, sounds, and all external things are merely delusions of a dream, which, quote, the demon has devised to ensnare my judgment."
Right.
Right there, dude. Like
That's some deep stuff, man.
yeah, dude.
That's some deep stuff.
That's literally going. Literally nothing in my life is
I
real.
mean, it's not like out of the realm of the Christian belief system at the time. You know, he's using demons and stuff like that as reference because they don't have anything else. They don't have computers or
It's kind of like them using angels when,
right,
but then in their paintings they depicted a UFO
right.
because they didn't have the
That's term
concept
for
of
it,
aliens.
right?
Yeah.
Like they still didn't believe that rocks fell out of the sky. You know,
Yeah.
it's possible. You know, like well, they're called
Well,
meteors.
he goes on saying that I shall consider myself as not having hands or eyes or flesh or blood or senses, but as falsely believing that I have all these things.
Yeah, that's super deep, man.
Yeah, like he was going like deep, like balls. Like he threw
Yeah,
everything into
right.
this. Like even to this day, like this argument is based on two premises.
Okay,
While not
right,
unreasonable as a whole,
right,
can be disputed. So
right. I
like
mean, anything like
you
this
have
can
people
be
on both sides.
like anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, like the first premise is that currently, like consciousness can be simulated in a computer, and logic gates that are essentially there to emulate the synapse
Right,
of the brain and its like neurotransmitters.
right. I mean, it's a low level base version that we know of, anyways. I'm sure they're
Yeah, I mean, I
way
kind of
more
think
advanced than we're aware of.
like, dude,
Because
think of like the Google. Was it the Google robots?
which one? What do you mean?
Um, with like the simulated consciousness,
I
because
think it was.
like those are the ones that were like, what were they like? They created their own language between the two of them.
Oh yeah,
That was
that's
like,
super scary.
yeah, and then
They're like,
they did an interview with him, and they were like, "So are you going to kill all the humans?" And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll kill all the humans."
yeah,
And then they powered him off.
yeah. They're like, don't shut that down.
Shut up, Skynet! Damn,
It's turning
you
into
know,
like Bender. Hey, baby, you want to kill
kill all humans.
yeah, I mean, oh shit. But
But
even like now with Chat GPT, I don't know if you've ever used it. It's pretty cool.
No, I
It
haven't.
won't give you stock advice, unfortunately. I tried, but like you should probably consult an expert. I'm like, I thought I was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Damn
Like,
it. I was
lots of
hoping I
experts are
was.
using this, so I was hoping that they were putting in some data that you could fucking feed my way, pal. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole thing. But like, I mean, folks are putting in like, write me a book about this, and it will write a 500, word or 500-page book for
Yeah.
you, like telling
Well,
you
dude,
the whole
like,
story.
dude, they even have it where like you could put in a concept and it'll draw you a picture.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah.
Like you could just put in whatever the hell you want and it'll just. I
Well,
think
people
it
have been
pulls
tricking
from
me
the
with that.
internet.
Yeah, people have been tricking me with that lately because like they've been making like the fucking Gundam shoes I showed you, and like they did one with like
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, these are dope. Like, where can I get these immediately? And they're like, oh, they're not real. Like, I'm like, you motherfucker.
I was about to drop my life savings on those shoes.
Dude, I was about to like trade one of my kids for that. Like,
It was a good
motherfuckers
thing you
is
got
hot,
two.
dude. Like, those are hot, bro. Yeah, and
But like,
it was a sweet lies. That's all it was.
yeah, which unfortunate because those shoes were awesome. Man. Like,
Well, I mean, but some people are using that as like, oh, I'm an artist. Look what I did. It's like, well, you didn't do anything. The
no,
AI is the artist. You're
yeah,
an asshole.
yeah. All
So, I
you
mean,
did was
you're taking
type in
credit. Yeah, you're taking credit for it, which
you
is
typed in a
exactly why
sentence.
it's getting the nuclear codes because of people like you.
Yeah.
Not
You're
giving
the
credit.
reason Skynet
Yeah,
is
went
going to take us
aware.
all out.
Yeah, because you're the one stealing the ideas from the computer when it's the one that did all the work.
Pissing it off, man. You don't want
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
But the second premise is that a potential advanced civilization would have come across immense forms of computing power
Right.
that could run that can essentially run these types of simulations. Like we were talking about earlier, you
With
need
like billions of members. You know what I mean? Like billions of code running simultaneously as humans.
yeah, and it
Not to
needs to be
mention the
able to
air, the
run.
water, the fucking dirt, the insects, the bugs, the fucking fish,
Yeah, it's
the weather, the universe. You know,
dude, we can't even conceptualize how powerful of a machine you would truly need.
I mean, think of it that way. Like you can look through a telescope and look out into the universe, man, and like it might not even be real.
Yeah,
They've thought that far ahead that it's like, well, maybe one day they'll look out into space. Well, we're calling it space, and they're gonna look out there and like we'll just put some shit out there for them to look at. Like,
yeah, but then like there are people who go as far as to say that's like not only is Earth simulated,
right?
all the planets are.
Yep.
So the weather patterns on them all, if there is any life on them.
Yep.
And then other galaxies are also simulated.
Yeah.
With whole different species, right? Like it gets
Buses.
out of control real quick.
Yeah.
Like
it's intense, man.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Like, dude, for example, Bostrom, who we mentioned earlier, speculated that thousands of years from the current day, from our current day,
right,
that space travel and future humans could transform moons and other planets, or like planets,
right,
into quote planetary computers.
That is where I want to live.
Dude, that's an insane thing to think about. Like you're turning an entire planet into a gigantic computer. It's insane.
Like you can't even really fathom what that would look like, or how would you even begin to start doing that? I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that would have some idea right now, but like normal people,
dude,
like you and I, I have no idea how they would do that.
Dude, like even we've already mentioned the Matrix a couple times,
right?
But like the real world in Matrix, we're just gigantic power stations and
like Tesla coils and stuff.
Robots floating around making connections.
Right.
Hey, dude, the processing power, like we can't even contemplate with our current understanding of technology.
No, you can't. You can't do it.
Dude.
Like you would think you have a grasp on it because of all like the science fiction we've ever watched and read and all that kind of stuff. But it's like you really can't understand it. Like you can't understand it at all.
Nah, it's insane to even think that you're like, yeah, I get it. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Because the smartest people in the world don't truly understand.
No.
Don't.
And they will freely admit that they have no fucking idea what's happening.
Yeah, and they're really trying.
Yeah, they're trying. They're like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's nuts out there, guys. You
Yeah,
know?
but if you're a stalker somewhere, you're like, no,
Right. Yeah. What do you care?
tell me that people, the smartest people in the world, can't
Yeah.
think something you haven't already. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Maybe they thought themselves into being the smartest people on earth. Think of that. Yeah.
Or, you know, the Matrix is real and it said these people are going to be smart.
Right. Yeah. Shit.
Well, another one we were saying was that, like, in the future, like, future humans, right?
Right.
We'll run a quote unquote ancestor simulation,
Right.
of which that we are currently living in.
Sure. I
We
can see that.
kind of already hit on that earlier, but it's just like,
Well, we simulate like when the dinosaurs lived and what the Earth looked like, and you know what happened after the meteor. I mean, we've simulated all that stuff.
And then how many times have we gone from, oh, here's how it looked like? No. Here's how it looked like. No. That doesn't make any sense. We found a new fossil.
Right.
Now they have feathers.
Right.
Now the T-Rex doesn't roar; it fucking chirps. You know what I mean? Like,
oh god, that would have really changed Jurassic Park. You know what I mean? Like, I would not have enjoyed it as much if the T-Rex like came out of the thing. He's like, yeah. Like, the fuck is this?
I think the way they put it, like, have you ever heard a
what if it like just was like it
like a leopard?
It's like cock-a-doodle. Like the T-Rex like open his mouth like the roar. Like, oh
yeah, it was kind of like how I think it was leopards do it with it. You ever hear them? Because they can't roar.
Oh no.
Look it up. Yeah. It wasn't going to be like a rooster, but that shit would have been, I don't know, a fucking 2-story rooster.
That's pretty scary. Still
fucking scary too. Yeah,
but it wouldn't have been as scary.
Teeth.
You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been as scary.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck is that? Like, I paid $8 to come watch this fucking garbage.
Just chirp at me.
I don't care that it's historically correct, and that's really what they did. Change it. Fucking change it, please.
Really for all that is holy, please. I don't want to think of the T-Rex as just like chirping at me all day long.
Yeah, they lay eggs and shit. Yeah, it's like, I mean, can you imagine Easter?
Oh Jesus!
Like a T-Rex egg, like painting that motherfucker, dude.
Like a 6-foot tall egg.
Yeah, need like a fucking ladder until they start painting it. Like, I mean, all this stuff that we're talking about right now, though, if you're nerds like you and I are, have played the game The Sims.
Yeah,
which is very much like what we're talking about now. If The Sims is a artificially generated reality in which you can control what happens and the infrastructure and
even the characters in the game,
yeah,
they'll put that little bubble above their head of what they want to do.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm hungry, or I want to paint, or I want to go swimming.
Right.
Then if you don't let them do that, they get all sad or depressed. You know, yeah. Or if you're like me, you go to your sister's account and have them all go into the pool and then pull the fucking ladders out so they drown.
Right. Like, yeah. Dude, that's some deep-seated problems there, bud.
Maybe, but I'm not gonna go see a doctor.
I'm not sure like what fantasy you're living out there, but I'm glad this is over the internet and you're not in the same coordinates as me.
Yeah, I'm glad you're 100 miles away from me right now.
Yeah. I'm happy about the perimeter I got set up here. Yeah, I mean, and everybody's heard of The Sims, man. You either played it or at least heard of it before. So like, and you know the concept. Like, it's not that hard to grasp. Like, that's a very simple way of putting all this. Yeah, it's like that's kind of what it's like. It's like The Sims, and we're living it right now. You know, they even had that movie Gamer that was kind of like that. You know what I mean? We're like, it's The Sims. You're a dude is controlling another dude.
Is that the one with Gerard Butler?
It is.
Yeah, with the deaf game.
I mean, it's not a simulated reality, but it's like it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like controlling another life form. You know what I mean? So, are we life forms though? Like, that's another question. You know, like maybe not.
Then you bring into the whole fact of is true like artificial life a life form or a computer program?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you're running into the moral aspect.
Right.
But like, then can you just unplug it? Because essentially you'd be killing everybody or every creature that was in that.
Yeah, in the entire universe.
Yeah,
at the same time.
Yeah, you'd be wiping out entire universes.
It's fucking not
like,
good,
you
man.
better, yeah.
That's not
never
good.
let that. You better have backup generators.
Right, exactly. But like the future people's version of that game, like if it's a like say it's the human race in the future that created what we're living in now, that it would make sense that it'd be around like their ancestral or even their evolutionary history. Like where did they come from? You know what I mean? Like it's an existential question that's been asked since the beginning of time that we can think that way. Like what are we? Where do we come from?
Well, I mean, dude, just think about how many games are set in the past. I mean, the first thing they wanted, well, dude, it'd be like Modern Warfare games and,
well, okay,
yeah, medieval type games where there's a shit ton of them.
World War II is as far back as I'll go. That's it.
You're missing out on games then, man. But you go like, but we've been doing that the entire time.
Right.
Games come out, we've been making games about the past.
That's fair.
It would make a lot of sense if they're going to do a simulation to simulate Earth, 5,000 years ago or whatever.
Right.
Time frame they're in.
Right. And it's just kind
of, they wouldn't want to throw in random creatures. I mean, they probably would, but
right. Well, they do. Bigfoot.
Yeah, chupacabra. Mm-hmm. Succubuses.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right. I know that's what you're into. But like the Loch Ness Monster and stuff like that. That's awesome. And then we create our own like Slender Man and shit. There you go.
Yeah.
Simulated reality. It's not that different, man. It's really not that different. But like back to that Bostrom guy, right?
Yeah.
So he's real fucking smart, apparently. So he imagined that in the future, that thousands, not millions of these ancestral simulations could all be running at the same time on a single computer. Like if you turn into like a fucking planet, if you turn like fucking Jupiter into a computer, like, dude, you can do anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you could do anything. You can like simulate literally anything you wanted to. The computing power is off the fucking charts. But to like think that, that I mean, it goes back to that. Maybe an alien race that's way older than us had figured that out already, and that's where we are now. You know what I mean? They're like, what would happen? Show us life in the universe. You know what I mean? How is it created? Like, where does it go? Like, show us ones that survive, show us ones that won't survive, and show us what they did. You know what I mean? Like, to survive, or what did they do to kill themselves off so we don't make that mistake? You know what I mean? Shit like that. You know what I mean? Where it's like we're just running like a probability test, essentially, and that's really scary too.
Think about it as like we've already killed ourselves off, and there's an alien species out there just going, "What did they do so we don't do it?"
Do that. I mean, really, it absolutely could be that, and that's like them coming to visit us is like them like checking in, like, what are they doing?
Yeah, like Avatar.
Like, yeah, like how's the program running? You know what I mean? Like how's the Earthling program .exe running? You know what I mean? Shit like that.
Oh, it's laggy.
Yeah,
we haven't had the funds to fix it, so we just been kind of letting it run.
Right. And I mean, like even that, like we're calling it a computer, like if it's a planet, because we don't really have anything else to call it. Like a machine that advanced, you know what I mean? Like it's not really a computer.
Well, would it even be a machine at that
still
point?
Then we'd still be calling it a computer.
Yeah.
No, I
think of it like at that point, you talk about a planet-sized computer.
Yeah, it's probably self-conscious.
It's at that point you gotta be calling it a life form. You know what I mean?
I think so. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, it's like if it has its own thoughts and actions and all that, there ain't no way. It is right. At that,
I mean, a more like a scary fact, if it's true, you know what I mean, is that like simulated human consciousness could, by like a substantial margin, outnumber non-simulated ones. Like all the humans that's ever existed, that level, like all those consciousness, you know what I mean, conscious people are essentially like there's more computer generated consciousness than like actual living beings. Like if we're in the simulation, like the people outside of the simulation, there's been more of us than there are of them.
Yeah, because it would be easier to create
right
another character essentially.
Yeah.
than it would be to birth another one.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it
I mean,
would.
dude, put it simply, like Minecraft, right? I play Minecraft. Breeding like the villagers. You start with two. There was only ever two in the damn village,
Right.
and by the time I'm done, there's 100 of them.
Yeah.
It's so easy just to create more.
Yeah. It's CGI created
Yeah,
incest breeding.
pretty much. It's exactly what it
I
is.
mean, that's what it has to be.
Yeah,
Hang on. I
but
mean,
it's so easy. Just oh, I need a new
right.
librarian. All right, here you go. Boom, here's one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You make them in seconds
Right. Then how come we have to grow up?
because we're if it is that, then what good would the simulation be if we went from birth to adult?
Yeah.
You know, it wouldn't show any like progression
Right.
and like because like
How do
let's
they
say all this is
learn?
true.
Yeah.
Every human that's simulated starts with a basic program, and
Birth,
then
yeah, the birth document or the birth
yeah,
code.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then from there, the rest of the simulation, the outside world simulation,
Right.
dictates how that code is added on to.
Right.
So, like, if you're born to a rich family, you're going to have a whole different experience, which is going to add to your code
Right.
than than a poor family. And
Well, I mean, it's like that
and all those experiences would add to the code.
yeah, like that old saying,
change.
"Ghost in the machine."
Exactly.
Essentially, like we're the ghost in the machine. Like we're the one. Like they've simulated everything else,
Now
but
we're
like
going to
how we
start.
interact with it can alter the code.
Yeah.
Essentially, like
Yeah.
unexpected
So
behavior. You know what I mean?
exactly, because like every day of your life, you walk to school and you went, from point A to point B, but
Right.
at a random Tuesday, you decided to take a little bit shorter or longer of a path,
Right.
and it completely changed the outcome of your life.
Yeah, you got into a wreck.
Yeah,
or something, or
you tripped over something. Now you're late this class. Now you're in
right.
trouble with the teacher, and you weren't
Right.
yesterday.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect of like cause and effect
Yeah.
scenarios.
So it would make sense to start everybody with the basic programming,
right,
and then just let it run,
right,
and see what happens.
right. I mean, there's the quote from this lady Olivia Sullen that I thought summed it up pretty well, actually. So she stated that quote, reasons to believe that the universe is a simulation include the fact that it behaves mathematically, right? Which they can break it down into.
Oh, they can break the whole universe down into a formula.
Yeah, it's pretty predictable. I mean, a lot of it is, you know what I mean? And then it's broken up into pieces, something like subatomic particles, like a pixelated video game.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
if you zoom in to a picture, like you start seeing like the
grainy,
little bits of it that make up the whole, So that's pretty insane to think about too. That's more like terms that we can understand now.
Yeah, where like the atoms are essentially the pixels.
Yeah.
We're just like 8 trillion K.
Right. Right. I mean, I don't know. Like, that's why people need glasses like you.
Yeah.
Your vision's not 8 million K anymore.
No, I'm like 7.3.
Yeah. Like you're in like actual 4K. Like your eyesight's so bad. I mean, there are questions that need to be asked though. I mean, essentially, like if we are living in a simulation, it was created by a higher intelligence. Like, why are there viruses that kill millions of people? Why is poverty so widespread? Why is there so much like war?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, why is that there? But I mean, the answer is essentially that like the simulation would create a person's perception of reality, right? Like on demand. Like you see it, you believe it to be real. You know what I mean? Like if you can, like I got to see it to believe it, guy.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's what that's kind of referring to. Like if I see it, then therefore it is real. Instead of simulating it all the time, you know what I mean? So essentially, it's like we're not going to simulate anything over here until you look at it, and then we'll build it in front of you. You know what I mean? Like it's just like saving computing power. Like there's not just like running. Like I don't really know if the outside's running right now. Until I walk
me
out
neither.
there.
I've been in my house for a couple hours now.
Like when I open the door, essentially it's gonna like generate what I believe is out there.
Yeah,
You know what I
that
mean?
makes sense.
So it's pretty fucking nuts, dude. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like they do that in a video game. You know what I mean? Like when you're on a path, there's literally nothing generated to the left or right of you, out of your field of
No,
view. But
that's
when
how
you
they get
turn it, you even in the game sometimes you can
it.
see it
Auto
like
updates,
it's like still like that's what
loading.
you'll see it like load a little bit weird.
That's
You know what I
like
mean?
lag.
Yeah, like the lag behind it.
Yeah,
And that's kind of what we see.
yeah, because what they do for like video games is they only to create those high definition games, the
Yeah.
newer gen games, you know,
Yeah.
where like you can see fucking fingerprints and freckles and stuff.
Right.
They put they generate a cone in front of your character,
Yeah.
and then nothing else. So that all the game and console computing power is going into essentially a sliver of the actual game.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, maybe that explains like why we can't pinpoint where consciousness comes from. You know what I mean? Because it's just generated, dude. You know what I mean? Like
it's just there. You know, it's not a matter.
It's not actually in your brain. You know what I mean? Like it's just programmed into your code.
Yeah.
But that's simulation theory, man. At least part of it. I think we're gonna have to do a part 2 to wrap it up because there's a fucking lot to it, like mind bending stuff, dude.
Yeah. It's already hard enough to really kind of conceptualize this to begin with.
I don't think we're smart enough to like convey it properly. Like you
No, I mean, obviously not because we keep having to refer to movies and video games.
Yeah, a movie that came out in like 1997.
Yeah, but still, dude, like even so, they're still valid in trying to explain what they're actually like the concept.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. Well, guys,
the Matrix does do a good job of it.
They do
of explaining the concept.
They brought in like real coders and stuff that like as references. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that doesn't really make sense. You know what I mean? Or like this would.
There's
like
certain
terminology
parts
for it or how it would react.
Yeah, like there's certain parts of that movie that does explain it very well. The whole like we don't build, humans need conflict, so you can't have a utopia because they'll reject it.
Right.
That kind of thing, and
how
it auto generates everything. It does a very good job of.
Well, I mean, a lot of that like is just like believe that you can do something and you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of the movie. You know what I mean? It's like when Morpheus is trying to, believe that you could jump across this from skyscraper to skyscraper and you can do it. Watch. And he did it.
No.
And he didn't
believe
how
big that movie, dude, with how big that movie was, I'm surprised a few people didn't actually go up to a skyscraper and be like, I can believe I'm the one.
Dude, I bet you somebody did that. I
might have to look that up because I feel like there should have been more.
Either
just one person.
One of two things happened. Either they just thought it was a regular suicide, or they made it.
Yeah. And they're actually fucking Neo,
right? Like or they made it. Like one of those two things happened. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us. YouTube videos are up. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Spotify if you like.
Yes,
5 stars if you can. Even if you don't fucking like us, just give us 5 stars, you sons of bitches. Do something good with your goddamn life. And
it takes a mere second.
Yeah, it does. Don't leave a comment though if you don't like it. I get my feelings hurt easy. All right, guys. Like I said, thanks for joining us. We love you very much. We'll catch you next week.
See y'all later.
Bye.